Welcome back. Why am I doing this video? Well, there's a lot of content that's going to be coming up soon, and so I thought it would be a nice gesture to kind of give you just a little bit of an idea of what to expect, right? Yeah, there's just different content, and it's kind of getting to that point now. I think it's makes sense to kind of let you guys know what's going on behind the scenes. What are some of the projects I'm working on, where I'm kind of at with some of those projects, and kind of when can you maybe expect some content related to them. So the first topic that we're going to talk about is the TD Ameritrade Streaming functionality. So I am planning to do a video tonight introducing that. This was taking previous content that was related to my TD Ameritrade Python library, and we're basically extending it. So we're going to start integrating the streaming functionality inside to this wonderful library. And the idea behind it is that it's going to hopefully improve your data collection scheme. And so this was a really fun topic for me because not only did I get it to work, it's always fun when it works, I found out that there are certain endpoints that we actually have access to, even though there is no documentation. Yes, you heard me right. There's no documentation, yet somehow I was able to get it to work, and I'm still a little bit shocked I was even able to do it because I didn't think I would be able to do it. But yeah, we can now get level 2 quotes and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really interesting one, but you can kind of get an idea of what is here. This one's still being updated, so please be careful when you're kind of pulling stuff because it's changing a lot. I have a general idea of how I'm going to start doing stuff now, but just do not be surprised if this content is changing a lot. Okay, and then after that, we do have another wonderful topic, which is the Interactive Broker API. So this is actually a really interesting topic because I actually started doing basically what I was doing with the TD Ameritrade API, but now I'm doing it with the Interactive Broker one, right? So that's an interesting topic. The idea is that we can now leverage that same exact API, or at least the web API, because Interactive Broker does have multiple APIs. We're going to be building this for the web API, and we're going to be able to do pretty much all the functionality we were doing before, but now we're going to be doing it with the Interactive Broker API. Just a heads up, there's a lot with this one. There's some weird stuff related to this API that I do not like, and I'm learning to deal with it, and I'm learning to kind of figure out a way of possibly getting around it, but there will be some content related to this one. It currently is in a repository, but unfortunately that repository is currently private. So I have an individual who's helping me right now. His name's Brian. Everybody say hi, Brian. He's not here with me, but in spirit he is. But yeah, he is helping me out with this a little bit. And so he's just kind of adding some stuff to it, and we're trying to get it into a good spot where we can share it with you guys soon. And then hopefully give you another tool to your arsenal, right? Because that's always the fun topic. Okay. And then from there, we have another fun topic, which is, where is it? I got to see where I put it. I have so much now, I don't even know where I put it. No. There is a topic related to, what is the word? The SEC filings. So right now, something we can do is we've obviously seen that we can parse SEC filings, right? So that's really cool. If we can parse SEC filings, that's obviously very useful if you need to collect data from there. However, if we want to, we can also parse what we call the the XBLR, I think it is. Regardless of what they're called, what I have been working on is how to parse those particular filings. So that way, if you want, guess what you can do? You can actually get all the information that you're seeing within that filing in a nice, easy, clean format. And so that means everything related to amounts. So these wonderful guys right here, we can easily parse them. And so I am currently working on that, trying to standardize it, make it a little bit easier where you don't have to put in a ton of effort to get the information you want. But this is basically going to enhance our scraping capabilities related to the SEC filing. So this is kind of all there. I have no idea if it's going to work. I'm going to run it really quickly. But you can kind of see it's just helping me right now to get all the content I need by account and then parsing it as we need it. So I'm really excited to share that one. I think a lot of people will like that. Some VBA topics. We're going to talk about the find object. So this is funny. I just saw a comment on it like a few days ago. I'm like, that's actually an interesting topic. I wonder what that would look like. So I just wrote some code on it. Additionally, I'm actually doing some stuff at my main job that is related to the connection object and then the query table inherently. And so I said, well, this is kind of nice. Like just, take what I was doing there and put it there because I was planning to cover it, but now it's giving me a nice, easy reason to cover it. And then also we're going to be talking about the YouTube API more and the GitHub API. So something I know people have been reaching out about is saying, Alex, the links in your video, they don't work. I know. That's my own doing, and I should never do that, and then I do it, and I know I shouldn't do it. Regardless of that problem, what I'm going to show us how to do is at least use the YouTube API and the GitHub API, because basically what I'm doing is I'm writing myself a wonderful little program that will go and change all the descriptions in my wonderful videos, because now I'm up to like 160 or something, which I am not going to do manually anymore. This will programmatically go through and fix the links if necessary. And then additionally, again, I don't know if some of you were aware of this, but I actually have an Amazon Associates account. So this is just one of the ways that I try to kind of help support the channel. So if this was actually recently added, but it was there, and on some videos on my channel, you will see it. But basically, this is just a way where if you make purchases on Amazon, but you go through this particular link that now has, what is it? My ID on it, I guess. And so basically, I guess what that's supposed to do, at least I know what these purchases, like it's supposed to give me a portion of it. Now I do finance. So I was like, well, why don't I just put like a link to finance or something like that, right? So basically, like if you shop on it, then I get like portions. So then it goes to like help the channel. So then the idea behind it is then I can then go and, get some of the more, I would call it expensive services. So the APIs where they're not free and you want to use it beyond like 5 requests, then you got to pay. So that was initially what I was doing here. But I don't know if you were aware, but we actually broke 5,000 on the channel. So that's really exciting. But I know this was a really important topic for people. So I said, well, whatever, we'll just do it, and regardless of that. And then also, but yeah, with this one is basically I'm going to be showing you how to use that API. So I don't know if there's some people out there, you might have an Amazon Associate account, or, maybe you at work have to manage something. So I'm going to show you kind of how to use that API, because ideally what I'm trying to do is automate this process, and then also put links there as well. So that way, if people want to support the channel, then they can do it as well. PythonNet, Windows User Forums. So we're going to obviously continue that topic. PowerPoint COM server, yay. So I'm going to be creating a COM server for PowerPoint using Win32com. My goal is to create a table object inside that particular PowerPoint presentation that will basically stream market quotes. So this is just like a little fun project. Nobody asked for it. I just said, well, that's kind of neat, and I wonder if I could do it. So we're going to see if we can do it. And then we're going to basically kind of extend that topic. But what I'm looking to do with the Win32com for Word is kind of extend this one, where we can just like easily import that content into Word if we wanted to, just to kind of see if we could do it. So this one is kind of helping us to like maintain that Win32com series. You can see it done in different applications, and then, stuff like that. And then we also have the KNN portfolio analysis. So this is continuing our machine learning topic. This one, obviously, it's just continuing finance, machine learning, fun stuff, right? PythonNet Excel library. Ooh, that's the fun one, right? So I actually have another repository. Again, this is private, so you will not be able to see it. But basically, I'm in the process of building the Excel object model for Python. So basically the idea is that we're going to have a single Python library that we can then use to leverage the actual Excel object model. So the idea behind it is where is it? I think it's this one, is that we can use it just like we would inside of VBA, but what we're going to be able to do is extend some of that functionality. So for example, we could say, hey, let's create a new Excel application, but only use the active instance. And that would just be like an argument you pass through, right? But the idea is that you can use it just as so. And then we can extend some of the functionality so that way we can do different things related to, finding like the last cell in a range or the last row or something like that. That's also going to cover something called code DOM. So the code document object model. This is also a portion of that as well. So that's kind of like two interchangeable topics. And then also the idea behind it is that it's going to generate these files, right? And so these files are going to basically mimic what you would see on VBA in the form of IntelliSense. But again, you would install this library. It would have all this particular content there for you, so we didn't have to worry about creating the active instance and generating files and then having those files sometimes not work and, a whole bunch of other stuff. The idea is that, again, it will make it easier to interact with it. And then what I'm also doing is building a documentation string, so that way when we use the code DOM, it will just auto-generate and create the content for us. So I'm really excited about this one. I think this is probably going to be like the epitome of our Win32Com series now migrating into Python Net. But the idea is that we can now generate content and it will automatically just generate the source code for us. So I think this is going to be a really cool topic once I kind of get everything figured out and the finer details understood. And then we're also going to be talking about the JavaScript Excel add-in. This. Where is it? I hate this one so much right now. It's causing me all sorts of hell. But the idea is that we, at least for a simple, I could do a simple one tomorrow, but why do a simple one when we can do a complicated one, right? The idea behind it is that we're going to be able to basically create a Excel add-in from the Visual Studio Code editor, and then this will create an Excel add-in that we can run both on the web and in the Excel application. It's probably not going to run because I just probably broke it if I remember. Oh no, it's running. Okay, that's good. But it's going to do this where we can do this wonderful stuff. Again, I have no idea if it's going to work right now. It's thinking. I think this is the one too with the code editor, if I remember correctly. So this is also kind of covering the second topic. This one right here. So ideally, what I'd like to do, again, this is what I would like to do, is we build the Excel object model for Python, right? So we build our Python library, but we can run it from our Excel application. So the idea is that it would look something like this, right? So we have a code editor right now. It might not look fancy. Trust me, this was hard enough to get up and running, but it's there. And then I'll show you. I don't think it's going to work, but the idea is that we can create a code editor that will run our Python code from Excel. So this would be basically, like I said, the epitome of it all. You get your Python editor, a modern editor from Excel, and yet you're able to run all your Python code. So this is kind of like the dream project right now. I am speaking way in advance, and I still have no idea if I can do this. I have been doing some research, and I'm not positive I can do this. I am trying to see if we can mimic the macro recorder for our Excel VBA, and if we can mimic it using Python. I have a backup solution that I know will work. That one I know will work, but I want to see if we can do this a different way. Now, right now, I've been under the impression that supposedly we can only do it if we basically use C++. I'm going to look into how complicated that would look like. If it's not too complicated, then we will talk about it. If it is too complicated and it's just beyond the scope of what I possibly could teach myself at this point, we will go into a different topic. So that is just kind of some interesting stuff that I think maybe you would find interesting by looking at what's going on. And then additionally, what this will hopefully do again is show us again how to build an Excel add-in, but now we're going to be doing a Python editor, and then we're also going to be doing our Python code. So it's kind of all coming together as a single entity. And then the icing on the cake is if we could somehow mimic the macro recorder in a true, genuine fashion. My backup solution I know will work. I just don't want to do that one because I think it's kind of dumb that I have to do that way. And I'm stubborn, and that's just how it is. But with that being said, that's just some of the upcoming topics related to this channel. So hopefully this is interesting stuff. That's kind of the goal, is I'm trying to do stuff that's interesting and, you know, a little bit different. I don't like necessarily covering topics that, you know, you can find anywhere else. I like covering the topics that are a little bit hard and not straightforward, right? Because that's where the learning happens. So at this point, you know, if you've got any questions or anything like that, you know, you can always put them down below and I can always do my best to answer them. But other than that, next video, we're going to start doing the streaming functionality for the TD Ameritrade API. So see you then.